Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to start like a weekly sort of catch-up, wrap-up style series on my channel. And if that interests you, subscribe, do all the jazz. If not, that's absolutely fine. So this week has actually been a really good week for me. I did kind of mention in my video last week where I was in terms of my reading and also like what I want to read in the next couple of months. And I just like went full force. So at the time that I filmed that, I was in the middle of reading this. This is Garden Spells by Sarah Addison Allen. I finished it, I think literally the next day or that same night. It was a very easy book to read. It's like 320 pages, something like that. It is very similar to Practical Magic, if you are familiar with that. I've never read the book, but I've seen the movie multiple times. I basically grew up on that movie, and it is eerily similar, but also not similar at the same time. Ultimately, I gave this a 2-star. It was a very easy read. There was no reason for me to DNF it. I was just going through it super fast. But at the end of the day, I felt like the conflict that you were waiting for and you knew that was going to be inevitable, like in Practical Magic, it was like resolved in one page in this book. And I feel like there should have been a little bit more to it. This wasn't gritty enough. And then I kind of realized, I felt like when I was reading this book, it felt a little dated. And then I looked to see when it was published, and I think it was published in 2008 or something like that. So it is more of an older book, yeah. First published in paperback in 2008. I was initially published in 2007. So, you know, that's not too long ago. Like, otherwise we're all ancient people, right? I mean, I'm not going to like put everyone down and say that was so long ago, but it does feel dated with the type of books that are coming out now. It is cozy, it is witchy, like Practical Magic is. It is basically about these sisters and, you know, their mothers, you know, there's just the two of them. One of them has a child and she's more of the rebel of the two. So, you know, you can see how it would be very similar to Practical Magic. Ultimately, I just didn't find the conflict at the end to be very satisfying to me. I wanted it to have a little bit more meaning than what actually happened. So I ended up giving it just a 2-star. It's not that I wouldn't recommend it to somebody, it just wasn't for me, but I'm glad that I read it, and I'm probably eventually unhaul this book. I've learned recently that there is a bookstore, because I live very close to Óbidos in Portugal, and there is an English bookstore there apparently where you can go in and trade your books. So I have been dying and waiting to do that. I've just been super busy lately, but we're going to take a trip to Óbidos maybe next weekend, and I could do that, maybe film it if that is of interest to anyone, because I have like a whole stash of books and I don't really know what to do with them. I'm not going to bin them. I want to pull them off to somebody who actually is going to read them and enjoy them, because I think anyone can enjoy a book whether you like it or not. Somebody else, you should be able to find at least one other person to like that book, unless the book is atrocious. And I think I have a lot of books that I recently filmed in my last unhaul video that I want to kind of get rid of. And that won't go into those because I already have started another unhaul pile, so it's probably going to go to that one. But whatever. Anyway, I read that one, and then I immediately went to this one. So this is The Nature of Witches by Rachel Griffin. I started this last year. So this one, I tabbed so much last year, and then when I picked it back up this time round, I read it in like 24 hours, and I barely tabbed it because there's no need. Like the way that I tab books now is very different to how I initially started tabbing. Like when I initially started tabbing books and annotating, I hardly annotate, if any at all. I just put a tab in. It's really just if there's a moment on that page that I enjoy, or a line or a sentiment, or if I have some confusion, I put it in there. Or if there's like a character name that I think I should remember, I put it in there. But last year, I think I was tabbing like for themes and every different character, and I did that for like the Sarah J Maas books and everything, and I just don't do that anymore. I think it takes too much time, and it takes me out of the story if I have to tab all the time. I know a lot of people like to do that, but I don't know if I generally find it, I don't know if it works for me. I think it would work if I go back and reread a book. Like I really want to read Mist and Fury, the second book in the ACOTAR series, because that was my favorite. I mean, it's everyone's favorite, right? But I want to reread it. And then I think at the point that I reread it, I probably will annotate it. I'll do quite a bit more. I might read the first 2 books, to be fair, because I kind of want to read them again. Back to this book, Witches. I did talk about this quite a lot in my video last week, but basically, this is about, what's her name? Clara. She's an Everwitch. What that means is she can pull the power of all the other seasons of other witches. And in this world, witches correlate to different seasons. You have spring witches, autumn witches, summer witches, and winter witches. And as an Everwitch, which only comes around every couple of 100 years, they're very, very extremely powerful and rare. She can pull the power from other witches and use that. And what happens is, if you are a spring witch, normally in autumn or winter or any other season, your power is not removed, but it's very, very weakened. And then obviously in spring, it would be at the height of its power. So really 9 months out of the year, a lot of the witches don't really have a lot of power. They can't really do much. But as an Everwitch, she has power all year round. But she's in training. So she's trying to figure out her magic. There's a whole history of her hurting her loved ones with her magic, which is kind of something that happens with Everwitches, because they're so powerful that if they lose control of their power, they can strike the person that they love the most if they are in the same sort of area as them. So she's had, some things happen in the past where that's happened, and it's basically traumatized her and made her feel, inadequate and uncomfortable to use her magic and scared and all this stuff. I think that's fine. But I think it goes on too much in this book. I appreciate that we usually have a main character who has some sort of trauma that they have to get through, or they have doubts and they have to pull through and, fight through their inner demons and inner monologue of not being good enough and everything. But I do get tired of it if it's a theme throughout the whole book. I really feel like they need to just get over it. And I don't know if I'm just being super insensitive when I say that, because obviously, I think in real life, I would understand someone who just has constant inner demons, because I think I'm one of those people. But reading it over and over again, and I swear Sarah J. Maas does this too, where the heroine or the main female character is so super powerful, but she's constantly worried and she's doubting her power and everything. And then right when she has to use it, of course everything goes right and she saves the day. And it's always the same thing. There's this buildup of dread and oh, I can't do it. I'm not good enough. I'm gonna hurt the people I love. And then obviously they do it fine. This had a lot of that in there. It's not the full amount, but it got a little tiring towards the end. It's not a huge long book. It's 350 pages or so. Very easy to read, but I did get a little tired of that underlining theme. There is a romance in here. It's kind of cute. I kind of enjoyed it. It was sweet. I definitely feel like this is younger YA. This is a YA, and I think if I had been 16, 17 reading this, I would have really, really enjoyed it. I think now, in my 30s, it just ended up being a little too YA for me, but at the same time, I thought it was fine. So I actually gave this, I think, a 2.5. I think it was decent. I rounded up to a 3 on Goodreads, but I think it's more like a 2.5. Because I definitely enjoyed it more than Garden Spells, even though they were both very easy to read. There was something about this that I just feel it never got to the point at the end. It was cute, cozy, but what's the point? And I think maybe I'm just not into super cozy books. This one, obviously there was a little bit of a character building arc. It was fine. So I read that book. And I started reading The Honey Witch by Sydney J. Shields a couple days ago. This one I've been struggling through. So I actually ended up getting to a page, I think 133, and I have decided to DNF this book. I don't think that there's no triggers in here that are alarming to me. There was nothing atrocious for me to DNF it. It was dull. it's just a bit boring, and I can see where it's going, and it hasn't hooked me, and I can't be bothered to read the rest of it. I thought it started off really good. Like, I liked the first 30 pages or so. I liked the spunk from the main female character. She has a little bit of a backbone. She's a little bit of a feminist. She doesn't want to just be married off. Like, this is in the 1800s, so she doesn't want to be married off to like any guy. She wants to like, she doesn't care about being married to anyone or love. She just wants to be a witch, right? And that did get a little bit annoying by the time that I stopped reading. But what I ended up realizing is this feels very YA to me. I don't know if it is supposed to be, because I think this was in Fairy Loot. I'm pretty sure, I don't know, maybe this is the YA one. I'm pretty sure this was the adult one though. I'm going to be honest. I'm pretty sure it was, but I might be completely wrong. This might be the YA one, because I get the YA book and I get the adult book. So I'm not entirely sure which one this is. I just didn't really enjoy the writing at the end of the day. It didn't hook me. I liked the beginning, and then it just got, I don't know, the last 100 pages that I've read, like, because the first 30 pages I thought was fine. 100 pages I've just read, I just like powered through last night thinking, oh, it's gonna get better, it's gonna get better. And I felt like it was getting worse. And then it got to the point where she's going to try to prove to this girl that she actually is a witch, because the girl is like skeptical and stuff. But you know, like, there's this underlining theme of like romance gonna happen. This is a sapphic novel, and I was really like looking forward to that. I just thought, you know, I haven't really read any sapphic novels that I've enjoyed. Can I find one that I enjoy? And then I got to like where I was last night. I opened up Goodreads and I was looking at through the comments. I was like, I think I have to DNF this. And I was reading a bunch, and everyone was DNFing the book basically where I DNF'd it, on like the 30% mark, because it just didn't do it. The writing wasn't good enough. Dialogue is pretty shit. And I really agree with a lot of the comments that people were making, because it was what I was feeling inside, but I wasn't sure if it was like what I was feeling inside, or like if it was warranted or not. So unfortunately, it is a DNF for this week. I'm very sad, because I thought this book was so cute. I love the honeybees. It is the most gorgeous little book, and it just screamed to me like cozy witchy vibes. But I don't know, I just didn't like it. And you know what, like 8 months went by when I was reading those pages last night, and I didn't even realize 8 months went by. It was just like going by super, super fast. But nothing actually happened in those. It was so weird. Like, I kept reading chapter after chapter, and then suddenly she says to someone, oh, well, my granny died like 8 months ago. And I'm like, it's been 8 months? It feels like it's been a couple of weeks to me. Like it's so crazy how time was flying by, but nothing was happening and nothing was moving the story along. And it felt like we were just waiting for her to get to the point where she sets up the romance, and there was no other plot point to the book. Or, I mean, there is kind of, but we haven't got there yet. Like, there is this underlining, like, dark ash witch that is supposed to come and try and gain immortality and ruin this place that they're living in, which is Innisfree. But I think that's probably going to happen in, like, the last third of the book, just with how it's going. I think this is more centered around the romance as opposed to anything else. And I wanted just cute, cozy, witchy vibes with some magic. And I just felt like there wasn't a lot of magic anyway. And it was all about honeys and how the honey, different honeys can help with the different magic, because they are honey witches. There's ash witches and honey witches. It was all just a little confusing, and I feel like there was a good story in here, but it wasn't developed enough for me to enjoy it, if that makes sense. I've spoken a lot, and I don't really know if I've said a whole lot. So anyway, I DNF'd that one. Aside from that, I did end up getting a bunch of books from Amazon, because I ordered them and they arrived. So it's not like it was a surprise. I don't know if I should just do this in its own separate haul, but I did also get a cookbook from my brother, because it was my birthday last week. And we have been, I haven't been playing a lot at all in the last few years, but back in the day, we were big World of Warcraft players, and we still dabble. We're very, very casual players. So he ended up getting me the World of Warcraft cookbook as a fun little gift for my birthday. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It's fun though. I've had a look at it. It's got some cute little like really big pictures of stuff too, and it's all like World of Warcraft themed. So there, some of these you would actually find in World of Warcraft in terms of like things that you would eat, and I thought was really cute. This is very geeky of me, but they have like skills and like level ups as well. So if you like at the beginning you're like an apprentice and then you gotta level up. They've done it a little bit silly, but I actually kind of like it. And some of the recipes look really nice. So I ended up getting a nice little cookbook this week, which is fun. But otherwise, yeah, that's all I've been reading. I don't know what I'm going to read next in terms of Honey Witch. Let me just have a look and see. All right, so I had all of these picked out for the next few months. I might go into 10,000 Doors of January by Alexi Harrow, just because I'm kind of wanting to read something good. But I'm really nervous because I liked Starling House and I'm worried that I won't like this. So it does make me a little bit nervous going into this, especially since I don't really know what it's about. In terms of like new books that I picked up, I do have some like witchy vibes in there. So I'll just quickly show you. I do have the Spell Shop. This one is Sarah Beth Durst. I might want to go into this one. This is really, I think, going to be like it's a heartwarming, cozy fantasy about stolen spell books, starting over and finding love in the unlikeliest of places. And it's only like 360-ish pages, 370. So I might just go straight into this. I'm still like into my witchy vibes. I couldn't resist. I think I'm going to definitely regret this and not enjoy it, but I did end up getting this as well, When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. I just think, yeah, you know, I didn't grab Fourth Wing, you know, with all that hype. I feel like this is getting a similar hype to that. Maybe not as heightened, but it is getting a lot of hype. And you know what? I just thought, why not? I think it was super cheap too on Amazon. It's like £5 for this big hardback. So, you know, they're just selling it super fast. I just thought we might end up getting it in Lumicrate or Fairy Loot, probably Fairy Loot, but then it won't be part of the subscription though, probably one of those like special editions. At that point, obviously I won't buy it. But this one actually is kind of cute. It actually does have a map in there as well. So anyway, I did get this, but I don't really feel like reading that right now. I think that's going to be more of a winter book for me. I did get this, How to Become a Dark Lord and Die Trying, because I saw, I can't remember anyone's name that I watch on booktube, I'm so sorry, but this sounded really, really fun and kind of quirky, so I think that's a contender for me to read. I also got Foxglove, and I've read Belladonna, and I enjoyed it, and I was waiting for the paperback of this to come out, which has just come out. So I did end up getting that. I think I'm going to wait, though, on that one. I got this one, My Vampire's a Roommate. Maybe. That might be more October vibes. And then I think this is a dark romance, How Does It Feel? By Janine O'Reilly. I don't know. What else did I get? Oh, I got 2 Ali Hazelwood. Even though I haven't enjoyed Ali Hazelwood books, that I have rated them low, I did get Bride because I'm just curious. I'm curious, and I got Check and Mate because a lot of people say this is great. Even though it's YA, people love it. And I actually found her spicy moments in her adult books very cringy. So maybe if I read a romance without all those spicy, cringy moments, I'll enjoy it a little bit better. I don't know. And I got Part of Your World because, again, I was curious. I haven't had no interest in reading this book. I've never read anything by Abby Jimenez, and the fact that it's so hyped, I'm really nervous that I'm going to hate this book. But I got it anyway because I just want to see I just want to see. I basically know what it's about. I know what happens in the story, but at this point, curiosity, I wanted to get it. So that's my like mini book haul. So I think out of all of those, I'm probably either going to read this one next and then maybe like followed by these two. So 10,000 Doors of January and How to Become a Dark Lord or Die Trying. I think I'm in the mood for these. Actually, there is one more that I might be in the mood for. There's too many books here. but I'm just like so not in a reading slump, so I just feel like reading. I might read this one, Long Live Evil by Sarah Reese Brennan. I might read this one. So anyway, that is it. We'll have to see how I do this week. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you like the style of video, if you like these sit downs. If you miss the vlogging, I'll try to do that. I think vlogging kind of works when I'm doing like a themed TBR, or if I'm doing like a series. I do have a couple series that I'd like to finish or read through, so maybe I'll do that as a vlog, but I'm not in the mood to do it at the moment. So anyway, thanks so much, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!